Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, May the 8th, day 16. 16 days completed on this current season 3 fantastic water fasting adventure. It's about 7 a.m. I am up and at it. That's a whole other story I'm going to get to in a moment. Let me just give you the nitty-gritty. I have lost 10% of my body weight, almost 25 pounds. Yesterday I weighed the same as the day before. And this morning, I weighed more. Imagine that. You stumble out of bed, set up your scale, you weigh yourself as yesterday, and you see the same number as the day before. And then the next day, you see plus 0.8 of a pound. Now, there's a slight explanation for that. I talked a little bit about sleep. And the fact is that when you're fasting, you often experience fasting insomnia. Your body just doesn't need as much sleep. And for me, because I absolutely just don't have to force myself to get out of bed and go to work, I have that luxury. My schedule creeps and starts to time shift. You know, you can't sleep, you eventually fall asleep, you get up later. And then when it's time to go to bed the next day, you can't sleep, so you fall asleep later, and then you get up later. And guess what? I was like yesterday, I didn't fall asleep until 9:30 in the morning. And I woke up at 4:30. I didn't weigh myself yesterday until 4:30 in the afternoon. That was my morning weight, right? So that accounts for what happened with my weight today. It's not a morning weight, it's 10 hours earlier than yesterday's weight without a solid sleep. And that thing that happens when you're sleeping is absolutely magic. If you're fasting and you weigh yourself before you go to sleep, and I've only done it a few times, I don't generally do it, and then you weigh yourself again in the morning. It's incredible how much weight you lose. You might get up to go pee a couple times if you're older like me. So I think I've kind of updated you guys, and I think the last time you seen me was like day 6, 7, 8, and 9 maybe, right? So 10 and 7 days ago. You know what? I feel really good. I feel #fasting fabulous. Come on, guys, look at these houses. I love walking in this area. This area was established by the industrialists in Ontario, in this little town I'm in. This was an industrial hub, and the factory owners all built their estates here. Absolutely phenomenal. I just love these. Sometimes I take apple cider vinegar if I'm feeling a little bit of acid reflux. I'll just put a little bit in some soda water, like just an ounce in a shot glass. I haven't felt the need to do that for that purpose, but sometimes I'll still drink a little bit, just because lately my water has started to taste a little bit weird. It starts to taste a little bit sweet and gross. 16 days in, your taste buds change. Your sense of smell is so enhanced too. My sister was cooking in the kitchen and my brother-in-law said, "Well, what's she cooking?" And without looking, I said, "Oh, she's frying up some hamburger in onions." Yep, that was correct. So, and I enjoy the smell of food and the sights. Food is beautiful to look at. It can be. All the different colors. I have been burping a lot. So, I have gas. But I don't have a lot of gas down below. But I've been feeling like I need to burp more frequently, which is a little bit strange. Oh, here's a cute house. Look at that little doll house. Just beautiful. So about my bowel movements. I always laugh now, because when I started this journey 2 years ago and I started doing videos, if you watch some of my videos, I was like so sheepish. And I was like, people always want to talk about bowel movements. But you can learn a lot about your body and your health by what comes out, and about how to adapt what goes in accordingly. So I rarely go, but the last couple days I've had some watery bowel movements, just very, very, very small amounts. It can be almost glue-like black, and there's been a few times where I've been concerned, if I had a bit of gas, whether it would be safe to let it go. So far, so good. Knock on wood. This is another absolutely stunning house. They have just done their porches up so nice. I hope they don't get mad at me for just beautiful, They have a amazingly big garage. I love architecture. I love older homes. Look at this one. This is just fantastic. It's called a cottage, an Ontario cottage, but it's not small. There's a lot of house there. Yeah. And the brick is yellow brick. It's taken from the Grand River clay. Some people sandblast it, and it becomes I think it's kind of an ugly yellow, and it naturally turns gray like this. There's a nice stained glass window over the front door. There's beautiful transoms over the front windows. Those coin corners of brick, like a bay window at the side. And these houses just go on and on. This one is just absolutely beautiful. Look at this streetscape here. Beautiful. This house, I've seen the windows, the lights on. Sometimes they have a front kitchen. Sorry, I digress. It's like if I show you one house and then the next house and the next house and the next house. what's really cool, I'm temporarily in the town where I was born. Through there, between those two houses, is my former high school, which is also a historic building. But look at this one with a little side porch, closed in, and it's a corner property. You hear the birds? What's cool about those old schools? This is the side view, and in that gable end at the roof, in the center, it says boys. That was the boys' entrance. I wanted to begin by apologizing for being so scruffy. I, kind of fell out of bed, washed my face, put a hat on, had my coffee, and I sat down in a chair, and I thought to myself, Fred, if you don't get moving, you're gonna fall asleep. And I knew this video was long overdue. There was a time not very long ago where I wouldn't have believed someone could go 16 days without food, right? And as you guys know, I did 75 days, which absolutely blows my mind now and then. What's different about this fast is I'm living with people, and they're observing me very, very closely. They were afraid they're gonna have to, pick me up off the floor or something, and they see that I've come to life. Like, I have an interest in visiting and talking, and when they sit down to eat, I come and sit with them. And that's if I didn't actually cook for them, which I've been doing too. I'm cooking. That absolutely blows their mind. How can you cook and not eat? Don't you want to eat with us, Fred? You guys, this is just a little gift from me. Isn't it beautiful, this street? Oh yeah. So I've come to the conclusion that fasting, is a superpower. It's a superpower. And the thing is, though, it's a superpower that we all have. We can all water fast. We can all do this. This is not hard. This is the easiest hard thing that you will ever do. This is not hard. Say it with me. This is not hard. And let me repeat something I've said before. If you think you can, you're right. And if you think you can't, you're still right, okay? I knew this fast was coming for 6 weeks anyway. I kind of committed to it, and I knew it was coming, and I knew that on April the 22nd, I was going to shut the door. In actual fact, it was the evening after dinner on April the 21st. I was just going to shut the door and stop eating. I knew I would, and I knew I could. I don't entertain thoughts of eating, but something very curious happens while I'm fasting. I go to the grocery store, look at food, I go grocery shopping, I cook, and I watch food videos. I watch food cooking videos, I watch videos of things I'm interested in regarding food. Like, I love the process of making bread. I love everything about yeast dough. I'm even going to make a sourdough starter. Oh, here's the back of that one. Here's the back of that one house I showed you before. I just kind of walked around a block. That's the one that had the gorgeous porch on it. And look at their view across the road. So, I reviewed one of my videos the other day because, you guys, if you leave comments, I read them all and I really appreciate them. Especially, everybody is just so encouraging and kind. And, you know, what else do I get out of this? So I really appreciate that. But someone left a comment on a video I made 2 years ago, and it's a good video. I reviewed it yesterday. I watched it. Bread was my lover. And the 5 mistresses of keto. And if I can, I'll put a link up right here. So, have a look at that. I show you my keto OMAD meal, how I was eating a king's feast after my fasting and still losing weight, which is a good reminder for me because I'm planning my refeed on the end of this, on the tail end of this fast. Anyway, I listened to myself talk about bread and how much I loved making bread, and the fact that I had to actually grieve the loss of bread when I realized that I can't eat bread. I can't say exclusively that bread is bad for people, and certainly if you were going to eat bread, the bread I made is the best bread in the world. Made over a 3-day process, pre-fermented. I had celiacs eat that bread and say they could tolerate it. But that's beside the point. For me, I have established fairly tight controls in my eating protocol that work for me. And if I don't follow those protocols, I end up falling off the wagon. That's why last year I got to 217 pounds on this date, and this year I was 238 pounds, and that was too much. But I still look at it in the grand scheme of things. I didn't gain all my weight back. And in actual fact, that 238 was the morning after a pizza feast. I don't think it was the weight I was carrying for the previous couple of weeks. And I think that weight had kind of stabilized. I'm watching videos. I'm considering making bread again. Because my grieving was the loss of eating bread, but also the loss of creating and working with yeast dough and making bread. But you know what? If I have people around me that want that bread and they love it, there's something about cooking and feeding people and watching them enjoy my work. I get so much pleasure out of that. So I can now cook for people even when I'm fasting. So I could still make bread if I wanted to and feed people if it makes them happy. And I'll probably maybe do that. But back to the point, I am watching food videos. So I say there's 3 major elements to food. There's the taste and the feeling of it in your mouth and going down into your stomach. So that's the eating part. But there's also the visual beauty of food. You know, I'm very guilty of getting that plate put in front of me, or even plating my own food and going, gosh, is that ever beautiful? I'm gonna take a picture. And then of course I post it to Facebook or whatever, and people are like probably rolling their eyes like, oh my gosh, Fred, don't you have some cats or something to take a picture of? Not, but so there's the visual, because it's a lot of it is food art. And then there's the smell. And when you're fasting, my gosh, your sense of smell is so enhanced. I remember on my first fast, just driving down the road, I could smell the food smells emanating off of all of the fast food places or restaurants, you know, down the road. But food smells nice. So just because we're not eating the food, why can't we enjoy the way it looks and the way it smells? We get 2/3 of the pleasure, right? So I guess that's about all I have to say today. Just remember, you have a superpower lurking inside of you. You too can easily be a fasting warrior. This is not hard. Say it with me. This is not hard. And you know, honestly, I'm not joking. This is the easiest hard thing that you will ever do. All you need to do is believe you can do it. Close the door. Stop eating. Make sure to take your supplements. And I've made some videos. I have one video, it's supplements are not optional. So you can review that. I have a favor. And this is really germane to those of you who are still listening to me, because you're my most loyal followers. Could you put your questions down below, and I'll do a question video. I'll do a video and I'll answer your questions. Okay, so I'm glad I've knocked off this video today. Thanks for watching. If you find my work useful or beneficial to you, or if you think others that you know might benefit from it, please like, share, and subscribe. You know, I'm 300, maybe 300 subscribers from 2,000 now, which is quite an accomplishment. I hit 1,000 subscribers last year on April 22nd, the day that I embarked on season 2. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. And as always, love yourself, stay safe, and be awesome.